We begin in the darkness of a pre-dawn bedroom, where the only illumination is the pulsating green light of a smoke detector on the ceiling. The silence is not peaceful, but heavy, pressurized, waiting to be broken. Precisely at 6 in the morning, the artificial chime of a smartphone slices through the room. A hand reaches out, not to touch a loved one, but to silence the machine and immediately scroll. This is the first injection of the day. The eyes dilate. The brain, still swimming in the delta waves of sleep, is instantly flooded with the tragedy of the world, the curated perfection of strangers, and the urgent demands of commerce. This is what we call waking up, but a more accurate term might be booting up. The camera glides over the sleeping city, a vast grid of concrete and glass that resembles nothing so much as a circuit board. Millions of souls are compartmentalized in stacked boxes, separated by drywall and indifference, engaging in the simultaneous hallucination of modern efficiency. We cut to the subway platform at 7:30. The air is stale, recycled, tasting of ozone and friction. Hundreds of bodies stand shoulder to shoulder, yet there is no contact. Every set of eyes is averted or fixed on a glowing rectangle. We are observing a paradox of density and isolation. Observe the posture, heads bowed, shoulders hunched, the classic stance of submission. In the wild, this posture signals defeat to a predator. Here, it signals productivity. We are looking at a species that evolved to run across savannas and track game through vast forests, now voluntarily confining itself to subterranean tunnels and cubicles illuminated by flickering fluorescent tubes. The biological mismatch is absolute. The human animal is not designed for this environment, and the friction of this mismatch generates heat. We call that heat anxiety. It is the background radiation
eon of the 21st century. Shift to a high-altitude view of the highway systems, the arteries of the metropolis. The cars move in a sluggish, coagulated flow. Inside each metal shell sits a single human being, bathed in the audio of podcasts or angry talk radio, their heart rates elevated, their cortisol levels spiking to match the stress of a physical confrontation that will never happen. This is the fight or flight response, triggered not by a lion, but by a red light. The body prepares for violence. The situation demands sedate compliance. The energy has nowhere to go. It turns inward. It attacks the stomach lining. It tightens the fascia of the lower back. It corrodes the arterial walls. We treat these symptoms with chemistry. Dissolve to a pharmacy counter. The shelves are white, pristine, ordered. Behind the counter, a technician counts out 30 orange pills. We are looking at the structural support beams of the economy.
Without the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, without the benzodiazepines, without the amphetamines prescribed to children who cannot sit still in windowless rooms for 7 hours, the machinery would grind to a halt. We have pathologized the natural spectrum of human emotion. Sadness is a malfunction. Distractibility is a disorder. Grief is a timetable that must be adhered to. The goal is not wellness. The goal is functionality. Can you work? Can you consume? Can you maintain the veneer of stability long enough to pay the rent on the box you sleep in? If the answer is yes, you are healthy. If the answer is no, you are broken. The camera moves into the open plan office. It is a masterpiece of surveillance architecture. The walls are glass. The screens face outward. The noise is a low-frequency hum of air conditioning and keystrokes. Here, we witness the commodification of attention. The worker sits before the altar of data. They are the processing information that has no physical reality. Spreadsheets, projections, quarterly earnings. The abstraction is complete. A man in a blue shirt stares at a column of numbers for 8 hours. He does not hunt. He does not build. He does not grow food. He moves pixels. At the end of the day, he feels an exhaustion that is bone deep, yet he has not moved his body more than 500 yards. This is a spiritual fatigue. It is the exhaustion of meaninglessness. We transition to the domestic sphere at 7 in the evening. The family gathers, but the hearth is gone. It has been replaced by the 60-inch liquid crystal display. The blue light emitted by the screen mimics the spectrum of the midday sun, tricking the pineal gland into suppressing melatonin. The body thinks it is noon. The clock says it is night. Sleep, when it comes, is shallow and fragmented. We dream of falling. We dream of being chased. We dream of forgetting something. Hinging vital, though we cannot remember what it is. The dinner table is covered in plastic containers. The food has traveled 2,000 miles to reach this plate. It is engineered for shelf life and palatability, loaded with sodium and preservatives to mask the lack of vitality. We are overfed and undernourished. The gut biome, the second brain of the body, is in a state of constant rebellion. We feel this as a vague nausea, a sense that something is fundamentally wrong, but we mistake it for hunger, so we eat more. Cut to a data center in the desert. Rows of servers stretch into the darkness, blinking with malevolent intelligence. This is the memory of the species now. We have outsourced our history, our orientation, our very identities to the cloud. The algorithm knows us better than we know ourselves. It knows what we want before we want it. It knows our secrets, our shames, our hidden desires. It feeds us a feedback loop of confirmation. Ejection bias, narrowing our world until we see only reflections of our own prejudices. We believe we are connected to the world, but we are trapped in a hall of mirrors. The political polarization, the rage, the tribalism, these are not bugs in the system. They are features. Rage engages. Outrage keeps the eyes on the screen. The sickness is profitable. The narrative moves to the medical clinic. A doctor looks at a chart. The patient is 35 years old. Hypertension, insomnia, pre-diabetes. The doctor prescribes a pill to lower the blood pressure, a pill to induce sleep, and a diet plan that the patient has neither the time nor the money to follow. The doctor does not ask about the patient's commute. He does not ask about the debt that hangs over the patient's head like a sword. He does not ask about the loneliness that sits in the patient's chest like a stone. To ask these questions would be to indict the culture itself. Medicine. It's the individual, but the disease is environmental. We are trying to heal fish while the water is poisoned. Let us look at the concept of safety. We live in the safest era in human history, yet we are paralyzed by fear. The 24-hour news cycle acts as a fear delivery system, pumping a steady stream of threat into the collective consciousness. A kidnapping in a town 3,000 miles away is presented as an immediate danger to your child. A virus on a different continent is a harbinger of the apocalypse. The nervous system cannot distinguish between a threat seen on a screen and a threat in the room. We live in a state of chronic hyperarousal. We are vigilant against shadows, while the real dangers, sedentary lifestyles, processed sugar, social isolation, kill us slowly, silently, and legally. Zoom in on the eyes of a teenager sitting on the edge of a bed. The room is dark. The face is illuminated by the phone. They are waiting for a dopamine hit, a like, a comment, a validation of their existence. If it comes, they feel a momentary rush of relief. If it does not, they feel a crushing void. Their self-worth is outsourced to an algorithm designed by engineers in California, whose only mandate is to maximize engagement time. We are conducting a massive, uncontrolled psychological experiment on the developing brains of an entire generation. We are teaching them that their value is quantitative. We are teaching them that intimacy is performative. We are teaching them that solitude is failure. The camera pulls back. rising above the city, higher and higher, until the grid of lights looks like a glowing fungus spreading across the surface of the planet. From this height, the frantic motion of the individual is invisible. There is only the system. It consumes resources. It excretes waste. It grows for the sake of growth, the ideology of the cancer cell. We call this progress. We look at the skylines and see triumph. We do not see the cost. We do not see the shadow. We return to the bedroom, the cycle closing. It is 11:30 at night. The body is exhausted, but the mind is racing. The blue light still flickers. The scroll continues. One more video, one more headline, one more hit. We are terrified of the silence. In the silence, the questions might come. Am I happy? Is this all there is? What have I lost? To avoid these questions, we numb ourselves. We stream content until our eyes burn. We take the second pill. We drift into a chemically induced unconsciousness, preparing to do it all again. The alarm is set for 6. The sickness is not that we are struggling. The sickness is that we accept this as normal. The sickness is that we have built a world that is hostile to our own biology and then blamed ourselves for failing to adapt. We are not sick. We are lonely, overstimulated, under-rested animals. As in a cage of our own making, and the door is locked from the inside.